Welcome back to the BookCast. Today we are unpacking every layer of the incredible novel, The Pickwick Papers. Get ready for a BookCast into its characters, themes, and the hidden meanings behind the story.
It really is incredible. The Pickwick Papers it was Dickens' big break, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And what's so great is, beyond all the humor, you get these sharp critiques. The legal system, politics. It's surprisingly relevant, even now.
That's so true. And right at the heart of it, you've got the Pickwick Club, founded by Mr. Samuel Pickwick, Esquire, GCMPC.
Which stands for General Chairman Member of the Pickwick Club, just perfectly pompous and funny.
Exactly. And their mission, supposedly, was to carry Pickwick's speculations into a wider field. Travel, learn, be useful. Basically a grand tour of human oddities.
Right. And he wasn't alone on this quest. He had his crew, the Pickwickians. They volunteered to share the perils and hopefully the glories. It's this group dynamic that really drives the whole episodic feel.
And what a group. You've got Mr. Tracy Tupman, the too susceptible one, his main thing. Admiration of the fair sex. You just know that's going to lead to trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then there's Mr. Snodgrass, the poet, always in his mysterious blue cloak, and Mr. Winkle, the sportsman. Or, well, the supposed sportsman.
Yes, we'll get to that. Each one starts as a type, but Dickens fleshes them out. They're sort of lenses for looking at Victorian England.
Definitely. And Pickwick himself, before they even set off, he's got his portmanteau, his telescope, his notebook, all ready for discoveries worthy of being noted down. So earnest.
You can just picture him, ready to document everything.
And that note-taking thing gets funny really fast. Like in Chapter 2, their first trip out, he's grilling this cab driver,
Oh,
right?
yeah, the cabbie and the waterman.
And he's writing it all down, especially the bit about the horse being kept out for 2 or 3 weeks. Pickwick actually exclaims, weeks.
Weeks. It's brilliant. Shows how clueless he is about, well, normal life.
Totally. And speaking of strange encounters, that first journey is where they meet Mr. Alfred Jingle. Now there's a character.
Oh, Jingle. A force of nature. That speech pattern.
Yes. Abrupt, fast, broken sentences. Like verbal shorthand. Accidents will happen. Best regulated families. Never say die. It's genius. Tells you everything about him. Instantly slippery, quick-witted, probably untrustworthy.
You can almost hear him rattling it off. And his look is memorable, too. Thin, long legs, looks taller than he is. And that green coat.
Yeah, the swallowtail coat, a bit faded, hinting at maybe better days or just putting on airs.
He's sharp, though. Drops these cynical lines like, in at the palace store one day, out at the window the next. He gets how things work, even if he's bending the rules.
He's a con man, definitely, but a clever one. And such a braggart. Claims he wrote an epic poem, 10,000 lines, composed it on the spot.
Right. Mars by day, Apollo by night. And boasts about Spain, lived their ages, and conquering Don Bolaro Fizzgig. It's just wild.
And the Pickwickians, they eat it up. Pickwick and Snodgrass are just scribbling away in their notebooks.
Totally taken in. It shows how naive they are and how easily Jingle can play them. He's the perfect catalyst for, well, chaos.
Exactly. He exposes their innocence and sets up so much of the comedy that follows.
So with Jingle kind of charming them, their first big stop is Rochester. And this is where things really start to get complicated, thanks to Mr. Tupman's susceptibility. He really wants to go to the ball.
Of course he does. And that desire leads straight into this hilarious mess. Jingle naturally borrows Mr. Winkle's new green shooting coat. Big mistake.
Huge, because Dr. Slammer sees the coat, thinks Winkle is the guy who danced with the rich widow, Mrs. Budger.
Who Jingle was actually dancing with, wearing Winkle's coat. So Slammer gets furious.
And challenges Winkle to a duel at Fort Pitt. Poor Winkle. You really feel his terror. He's absolutely not the dueling type.
Not at all. He's panicking, thinking about dying, while Snodgrass, as his second, is bizarrely calm about the whole thing, almost clueless. He just says, I will attend you like it's nothing.
It's priceless comedy. Snodgrass asks Winkle if he's a good shot, too, completely missing Winkle's terror. It just shows how out of their depth they all are.
But they somehow muddle through. The mix-up gets sorted out eventually.
And Winkle, hilariously, ends up looking brave by accident, which he's secretly very relieved about. It becomes a running theme for him, this unearned reputation.
These early bits are funny, but Dickens also slips in these darker moments. Like in Chapter 3, there's that old clergyman's manuscript. Quite a shift in tone.
Oh, yeah, that's grim. The story of the pantomime actor, the drunkard. His decline is really bleak. Disease and hopeless poverty.
And those deathbed delusions are chilling. Being scared of his wife's large, staring eyes. It's Dickens reminding us, I think, that even amidst the comedy, there's real suffering and psychological depth just beneath the surface in Victorian life.
It adds surprising layer, doesn't it? But then we swing back to comedy with Jingle's next big scheme at Manor Farm. He decides to elope with Miss Rachel.
Mr. Wardle's spinster aunt.
Oh, yes.
And he's so cunning about it. He even gets 10 pounds out of poor Tubman for a very particular purpose.
Which is, of course, to fund the elopement. Tubman is furious when he finds out.
The discovery itself is great, too. Chapter 9, Discovery in a Chase. It's Joe, the fat boy, who spills the beans.
Right, and Tubman's reaction, he's got 10 pounds of mine. Stop him. He swindled me. I won't bear it. Just pure panic.
And then the chase. Pickwick and Wardle tearing after them in a post-chase, hitting obstacles, the carriage crashes. It's total picaresque adventure.
And Jingle is just standing there by the wreckage, completely unfazed, infuriating.
In the end, they basically have to pay him off. 120 pounds to abandon Miss Rachel, a breach payment. He gets away with it, sort of.
He really is something else. A total scoundrel, but you almost have to admire his nerve.
Definitely. Now, Manor Farm itself provides loads more adventures, really immersing them in country life. Starting with that field day and bivouac.
The military parade, it's chaos. Blank cartridges firing everywhere. And Pickwick somehow maintains his perfect coolness and self-possession through it all. Unflappable.
And it's where we properly meet the Wardle family. Mr. Wardle, his nieces Isabella and Emily, the aunt, and of course Joe, the fat boy.
Joe. He's unforgettable, always asleep, does his errands asleep, snores while serving dinner. It's such a simple, brilliant running gag.
Dickens was a master of those. Then Pickwick decides he should drive the horse in Chapter 5. Predictable results.
Totally predictable, utter chaos. The horse bolts, they end up somewhere random, and the locals think he's stolen it. It's his good intentions versus his actual skills again.
Exactly. Then you have the cricket match in Chapter 7. Dingley Dell versus All Muggleton. A really vivid slice of village life.
It's a great scene. And it leads into Mr. Winkle's other famous moment, the shooting incident.
Yes. Mr. Winkle, the capital shot. Except he isn't. Not even close.
He ends up shooting Tupman instead of a rook. Poor Tupman gets it again. It's just perfect physical comedy playing on that gap between reputation and reality.
And the country mishaps continue. Chapter 9-9, Pickwick falls asleep on Captain Boldwig's land.
And Captain Boldwig, being incredibly stuffy in particular, has him wheeled off in a wheelbarrow, just like a piece of rubbish. It's a great little satire of petty authority.
So lots of laughs in the countryside, but things are about to take a more serious, though still comedic, turn. Pickwick runs into the legal system. Which brings us to Mrs. Bardell.
Oh boy. Mrs. Bardell. Chapter 12. Pickwick just wants to hire Sam Weller as a servant. That's it.
But he phrases it awkwardly. Something about wanting someone to look after him.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Bardell, his landlady, takes it as a marriage proposal.
And faints dramatically into his arms, just as Tupman, Snodgrass, and Winkle walk in. The timing is perfect. Awkward doesn't even begin to cover it.
It's a classic misunderstanding, fueled by social assumptions. And it leads straight to Dodson and Fogg.
The lawyers. Oh, there's something else. Relentless, formal, pursuing Pickwick for breach of promise.
Pickwick is outraged, calls them swindlers right to their faces, which of course they calmly note down as evidence. It's a brilliant satire of how the law can be twisted, how impersonal and greedy it can seem.
But the upside of all this legal trouble, we meet Sam Weller.
Finally, yes. Pickwick hires him as his manservant. Sam is just fantastic. His slang, his wit, his loyalty. He first shows up as a boot cleaner at the White Hart Inn.
He brings this street-smart realism that the Pickwickians desperately need. He actually understands how the world works, unlike his master.
Exactly. He's the perfect foil. And then we meet his father, Mr. Weller Sr., the coachman. More comedy gold.
His opinions on widows. Widows Sammy, Allers does it, and his warnings about marriage licenses. Just brilliant characterization through dialogue.
Adds another layer of humor and social commentary. It's not all legal woes, though. They still have other adventures, like Pickwick's archaeological find in Chapter 11.
The stone, with Bill's Tum PSHI S mark on it. He's so genuinely thrilled by this discovery.
And he presents it to learned societies, all serious, and they declare it very extraordinary, but haven't a clue what it means. Then Mr. Blotton tries to rubbish it. It's a gentle poke at academic pretension.
It's very funny. But then in that same chapter, you get another stark contrast. The Madman's Manuscript.
Right. Another inserted story, but this one's really dark. A first-person account of descending into madness. Paranoia. No one knew I was a madman yet. It's chilling. Talks about hereditary insanity and violence.
It really shows Dickens's range, moving from broad comedy to psychological horror like that. Reminds you of the darker realities lurking underneath.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Then back to lighter fare with the bagman's story in chapter 14. A bit more whimsical.
Yeah, Tom Smart in the talking chair. The chair warns him about the widow's suitor, the tall man.
Tells him the guy's already married. 6 babes, and all of them small ones. And helps Tom expose a fraud. These stories often echo the main themes like deception and hidden truths, and the novel even gets political with the Eatanswill election. Chapters 13 and 41. Pure farce.
It's brilliant satire. The blues versus the buffs, Slumkey versus Fizkin, candidates kissing babies, he's kissing them all, mob mentality, empty slogans.
It feels incredibly modern in some ways, doesn't it? Dickens absolutely nailed the absurdity and corruption of campaigning back then. A timeless send-up.
After the election madness, they end up at Mrs. Leo Hunter's fete Champêtre. Chapter 5 time. A fancy dress garden party.
Another chance for social satire. All these literary types, social climbers, and the costumes.
Tupman is a brigand, Snodgrass a troubadour, Wingle is Apollo, you can just picture it. And the foreign Count Smorltork thinking Pickwick is Big Vig.
Yeah, it's just wonderfully silly. And who should reappear amidst all this pretension?
Mr. Jingle, of course. He always pops up when you least expect it, usually causing trouble.
Which leads us nicely to Ipswich, chapters 22 and 23-3. Pickwick goes there specifically to track Jingle down and expose him.
And ends up in perhaps his most embarrassing situation yet, the nightcap incident.
Oh, it's classic. He wanders into the wrong room in the dark, ends up in Miss Witherfield's bedroom, both utterly mortified. His apology, addressing a lady in my nightcap, is just perfect Pickwick.
Then her suitor, Mr. Peter Magnus, bursts in. More confrontation. But Pickwick, even though he's caught in this ridiculous spot, tries to protect her reputation. Still the gentleman.
But Magnus isn't having it. He drags Pickwick and Tupman before the magistrate, Mr. Nupkins, back into the legal mire again.
But Sam Weller saves the day. He uses his wit and common sense to defend Pickwick and cleverly exposes Jingle for what he is, just a strolling actor.
Sam's loyalty and smarts are indispensable. He gets Pickwick out of the jam. Jingle and his sidekick Job Trotter are finally dealt with, at least for now.
And just to round it off, Sam has a funny little flirtation with the housemaid. Shows his charm, even after all the drama. He's just such a great character.
He really is. It wraps up that whole Ipswich adventure perfectly.
And there you have it. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us and this story. If you enjoyed it, a simple like or subscribe helps the channel out more than you know. Be good and take care.